We OG, Ordinal G. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the or no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload, yeah. Experts on reload, yeah. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the or no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock, ayy. Runes is coming, everybody on a knot, ayy. It's a nuisance, Ordinal Revolution, ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro.
Run stuff.
Got friends right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, lock it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nookies on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. Started Satoshi's nothing above me. Bitcoin's alive, what you gon' do? Mempool fees are high. Ordinal. Where does it start? Nobody knows. It's a revolution, ayy. Bitcoin is the one, no substitution, ayy. With Shizzy and Yagobi, it's Ordinal Revolution.
Welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin Ordinal ecosystem. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're live for the Ordinal Hour, and we have a really good show today. Obviously, we have the Ordinal Hour. We're going to get into all the news and everything that's going on. But then the second hour of this will be Tap Tuesday. So we'll go about 45 minutes with the news, jump into some Q&A, and then bring on the guys from Tap. We got a really good group of guys today. We have the Natbats. We have our guy, man. It's gonna be a good one. We'll tease it a little bit, but it's gonna be a really good show. And we got a lot to talk about. I mean, we're gonna get into some bullish momentum finally happening again. I think we're in the renewed optimism phase, and I think we're gonna be here for a little while. But I think we're definitely gonna get the all-time high soon. Obviously we're gonna get into the JD Vance stuff, and we do have a new stablecoin in Runes. We're going to get into that. And, Billion Dollar Cat had a tremendous day yesterday. Some news from Merlin. They have a partnership with Ordzard. We're going to get into that. And then we'll show you guys how to use the Unicross self-service bridge application. It's super simple. You guys can get pretty much anything over to Merlin now. You have to fill the application first, and then you have to wait maybe a day, I think Mr. J said, and then potentially it will be available to bridge. But without further ado, let me bring in my partner here, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What is going on?
What's up, man? How's everything with you? How you feeling with this? You feeling any renewed optimism?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was a great day, right? I think it was overbought, though, a bit, right? Because of the sentiment that changed over the weekend and starting this week off. But it's okay. We got to, I want to say we got close to 65,000 yesterday. And there's a pullback, which was expected today. We're sitting at 63,800, 900 around there. But I think this is good. Normal pullback after like a really, in my opinion, was a little overbought, right? The sentiment's good and all that stuff. That's good, though. We're heading in the right direction. That's what matters.
Yeah. And it just shows, yesterday, the ETFs buying where they couldn't stop buying yesterday, and then it continued into the after hours as well. So I'm curious of what the number's going to show for yesterday. It usually comes out later today, so we'll be able to see the exact amount that was bought. So I'm curious what that number is. I'm curious what they do today. I mean, the market's open now. It doesn't seem like there's too much buying happening right now, but I think it's going to be a good day at the end of it.
Yep. We'll find out.
All right, we'll jump into some banners here. Kind of what we've already been saying, but the bullish momentum builds for Bitcoin, basically. But jumping in, ETF, Ethereum, set to launch Tuesday, July 23rd. How does this kind of cross over to what we're doing over here in Bitcoin and Ordinals?
I think it's just a positive sentiment overall that our government is opening up to the crypto space. The players to be in the TradFi sector are really pulling the strings, right, with the SEC and putting pressure on them and getting them to open, up for this, approval of Ethereum's ETF. And that's just bullish for crypto in general. So is that bullish for Bitcoin? Of course, because anything that's bullish for the overall space is going to affect all the main blue chips. So that's where I think it is bullish for Bitcoin.
The other thing that scares me about this is basically the same thing that happened with Bitcoin is when Grayscale opened up, it went from a trust to an ETF, which basically the same thing is going to happen here. And there's an Ethereum trust right now that'll go to an ETF, which will allow them to be able to sell off for the first time since, I want to say they started buying in like 2018, 2019. And the prices then were like $80, right? So they have some Ethereum in there that they bought really, really cheap, and they could sell for the first time. Do we see something like we already saw with Bitcoin where we see massive amount of deleveraging from the Grayscale team?
Probably, but the ETFs that are applying and coming in are going to eat that all up, just like they did on the Bitcoin side. It took, I would say, about 2-3 weeks for things to really get going after the ETF launched in January. And after it started to take off, there was no looking back. Right. So we hit a new all-time high in April. I expect something similar, us like the Ethereum side jumping up, and like it'll probably affect alts more from an impactful way, price point wise and percentage gain than Bitcoin. But I still think Bitcoin will be, a part of that ride.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think that the first month might be a little rocky. You might see some dumping happening between July, the rest of July and early August. But then I do see a run in Ethereum, and that's kind of spilling over to what we're doing over here. And everything over here considered an altcoin, right? Everything's an altcoin compared to Bitcoin, and ETF should really skyrocket all altcoins into Valhalla. But that might take 6 to 8 weeks before we see some movement from this. But Bitcoin could run on this as well. I mean, or you could see Bitcoin kind of selling off, and maybe people get into the Ethereum ETF. So I'm not sure. There's so many different scenarios that could happen here. I'm curious how it plays out.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because I don't think this is gonna be like the big alt season run. I just think this is gonna be a alt catch up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, for example, earlier this year when the ETF launched, it took some time, but whenever it did take off, it was kind of a lot of like pent up demand with Bitcoin. It was down coming out of the bear market, all that stuff, and then like you just threw like a multiplier with the ETF there, and that's why I think we hit the all time high. But we're not anywhere close with Bitcoin to where this all time high is going to be for the cycle. I don't think. Right. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
And so I think the same thing's going to happen with Ethereum. So I think people that are watching this, listening to this, and ourselves too, we need to sometimes take a step back and think about where we are in this market, right? Where are we compared to other cycles? There's different things, different variables with the ETF, of course, but that just pushes up the value or the price action demand. But in terms of timeline, we're in, let's say 2016, right? Because that was the halving year. We're in 2016 heading into that, end of summer or towards the end of the summer. We're still in summer, obviously, with July, but, things didn't really start getting going until 2017, right? In terms of the price action.
Yeah.
So this is just whenever they say super cycle, I think it's the fact that we're benefiting so much in the halving year as well as we're going to benefit in the following year of the halving. And that's usually the year that price explodes.
And a super cycle that usually adds months or years to the actual cycle, right? So if we're in a super cycle, when gold had its super cycle, it went for 4 years. So, I mean, you could see something to where, maybe we just grind up all the way to maybe we don't really have a bear market this time around, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be a bear market coming back, but yeah, you're right. This could be like an extended, you know, bullish cycle. We've talked about the possibilities, right, and what that could look like, but I mean, 2024 has not been a bad year for people that's in the space every day. You know what I mean? Now, for people that are just visitors or tourists, yeah, they could get wrecked because they're like, oh, Bitcoin's back, crypto's back. And then they come back, they end up buying the local top and they're like, oh, it's dead again, because we're not in that official, like full blown bull market yet, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think it's different perspectives from tourists to people that are in it every day, like us in our audience, and people that are not in it at all. And they're just outside, you know, spectators.
Yeah, exactly. When you're coming in here trying to buy a 5X and then to get another 5X, you're probably going to get shaken out before it hits that 5X that you're hoping for. And that's the kind of market we're in. I agree.
Yeah.
But we do have like things happening like every single day. It's another one. Payments giant Stripe to allow Europeans to buy Bitcoin and crypto using their credit and debit cards. This is big. Stripe now becomes, you know, I mean, they're the top, you know, of all credit cards. I mean, if you own a company, you 90% chance you use Stripe. This is big. I think Stripe, this is a monster company coming in here potentially. I'm curious if they're going to be selling the Bitcoin themselves. Are they going to become an exchange or not, or just let you use it through Coinbase and other exchanges?
Well, I think a lot of these fintech, financial tech companies, they're trying to figure out where their place could be here in our space, right? And the easiest way to get started is to on-ramp and off-ramp, right? And so using, you know, debit cards and stuff like that, this is another easy way to get your foot in the door. And so I think that's what's happening here. And I think a lot of these traditional payment processors and stuff like Stripe, they were just not wanting to touch it. They felt like, oh, you know, SEC's like too aggressive on this. And now they see that the SEC is approving Bitcoin ETF. The SEC is approving Ethereum ETF. Now there's, you know, there's rhetoric and just words that are coming out from the SEC that seem to be like a little bit backing off, right? So I think these bigger financial institutions or fintech companies are trying to find how they can get in, and this is the easiest way, right?
Yeah, man. Jumping on the next thing here. This is big news from yesterday. Trump just chose a very pro-crypto running mate to be the vice president. This is bullish for Bitcoin, ordinals, and everything else. You know, this is huge.
Yeah, this is big. You know, JD Vance is definitely pro crypto. Trump obviously has become pro Bitcoin and crypto in general, but Bitcoin specifically is going to be at the conference, obviously. And so this is a really great setup for our industry for the next 4 years, right? I mean, how can you not be bullish about it, right? The largest financial markets country in the world is finally coming around to Bitcoin and crypto. And so this is really big. You know, they said that he had $250,000 in Bitcoin, but from what I'm hearing, he has like a lot of positions in a lot of other, you know, blue chip cryptos as well. So I just think this is overall bullish for what's to come, right? If they go ahead and finish that last leg of this campaign and win the presidency, because I think we're going to see a lot more crypto adoption in mainstream, you know, corporate world, as you know, businesses, even it'll get down to the medium and small businesses too, you know. So it's going to be interesting to see how that integrates, though, if this happens.
Yeah, and the best part about JD is like he's actually in our age group. I mean, if you go to our show and you look at who watches the show, it's between 36 and 45. That's the age bracket of our show,
which is kind of wild to me. But like, I was like, is it because Bitcoiners are older? Probably because, you know, Bitcoin's obviously the oldest crypto in the industry. But I think that demographic starts to change a bit once this starts to open up, right?
I agree.
In terms of our ecosystem. Once it's easier, the hurdles are chopped down. So we'll see.
I think it's because our generation is just like, you know, we
wiser.
Yeah, exactly. We are smarter than Gen X. Gen X is like they just went to work, right? Our generation's like, I don't want to do that anymore. right? And then the next generation is even worse than us. We're like, I'm not doing any of that, right? So it's like we were just the start of it. But I just think that we see ways to use our brain instead of our muscle. Use you know, we can kind of sit at our desk and make money instead of doing things and you know, to make other people rich, right? So there's different ways now. There's technology that never existed, especially for Gen X, and I think we're seeing that. And it really starts with crypto. It starts with being your own bank. It starts with being able to go get yield in different places, and not just that, but it's really just, you know, getting in and getting out of think buying low, selling high. I mean, that's something that I think our generation is really good at. And you know, Vance, he seems to be a part of us, man, because there's a tweet from Alex Becker here that I absolutely love. I don't like Alex Becker at all, but I saw his tweet and I loved it. He said Trump's VP pick isn't pro crypto. He's a top holder of many coins and NFT project, aka he's a degenerate piece of shit like us.
One of us. One of us.
I love
yeah,
it.
it's interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, top holder in many coins and NFT projects.
Yeah, I mean, I heard he's got a lot of AVAX. He's got a lot. I mean, like once you get to, you know, having positions in AVAX, and you know, I don't know what other chains he has, but like you're in it, you know it. You know, you've researched some.
Yep. All right.
One thing real quick though, I did see like he's pushing for more utility in crypto. I think that's a big plus. That's a big
I mean, right now, the reason we're so meme friendly right now is because, you know, you can't get in trouble for memes. Like anyone create a meme, it's just a meme. It's the opposite of security. So it's like Gary Gensler pushed us to this edge, right? They pushed us to memes being the only thing that is easy to trade, and no one's trying to get arrested in the space, right? No one, but we all want to make cool stuff. We all want to like experiment, but with Gary Gensler's laws, you can't experiment right now. You know, and we all know what we're getting into. When we buy a coin, we know that, you know, we know what we're getting into. We know not to put our life savings in there, and we should be responsible for our own, you know, buying and selling. And I think with this new administration, we're going to get that. We're going to be held accountable for our own mistakes and not blame other people. And I think, you know, but SEC's taking a step back is a sign of that.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. We have a bright future here if everything keeps going forward.
I mean, it's really worldwide too. I mean, just like here, South Korea's ruling party proposes delaying the cryptocurrency tax from January 1st, 2025 to January 1st, 2028, stating that rapidly imposing taxes on virtual assets is not advisable at this time. Like, and that's the thing too, is like, it's not easy to do taxes on crypto, right? Like, how do I tell them I bought like algo here and then sold it here, then put it back here? You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, is that not people are going to probably push back on me on this, but it's a great Web 2 high transition to Web 3 business startup, right? For people to make that easier, because it's all about making people's lives easier, right? And so I think at the end of the day, people are going to have to pay taxes on their gains, right, from crypto. So there will be companies that come into the space that specialize on this. Hey, don't worry, don't stress out about it. We got you covered, you know. But yeah, I think I talked about this yesterday. You know, Korea was, if you think about it, they're kind of like, oh, you know, why are we going to try to impose this tax right now, right before the bull run? It's going to discourage builders, and each country wants builders to come from their country now. You can tell, you can see it, right? And so I think that's why they're doing this. And it would be rushing it, right? It would be like trying to slam that in, just creating a bunch of stress, not only for the citizens, but for the government as well. Because, you know, you got to have manpower for that.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to take a lot of manpower. I just wish there was a way to, you know, just count your in buying and your out buying, right? Or in buying and out selling. So when you go from cash to crypto, you're only taxed from when you go from crypto to back to cash, right? So whatever you put in and whatever you take out, right? So I just wish there was a way to get taxed that way instead of just being able to, for me to go through every trade that I make. I mean, I made like 16 trades this morning. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, in theory, you made them, right?
Well, I'm just saying, like, for someone in that environment, some people make hundreds of trades every day. How do you calculate that? You know, it's
Yeah.
like, and when I bridge to Merlin and do a trade over there, like, how do you, like, I know people say you can put your addresses in and stuff like that, but how do you see, you know,
I
when you
mean,
build it,
like from
it's
what you're
just,
talking about, you would have to go through the
it would be nearly
software.
impossible.
The software it would be a software as a service company that you go and plug your address in. You have to manually select which ones you want to pull
That
over,
would,
something like
that would
that.
be rough, dude. It would take me like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
All right, jumping to the next thing here. Bitcoin dips to 63K this morning, a little under, I want to say, as Mt. Gox just moves 2.8 billion BTC to internal wallets. So Mt. Gox is just like messing around right now. The guy who's controlling this wallet is putting shorts in. This is just what I'm thinking. I don't know if it's true, but he's putting shorts
Tinfoil
in,
hat,
moving
tinfoil hat
it, and then
time.
he's just moving the 2.8 billion to another wallet, and
It
then
it didn't work
and
that
then
for too long because we're at 64,400 right now.
I mean, but if you shorted at 64 and then got out
Yeah.
at 62, I mean,
True.
it just seems like, dude, they're just moving it back and forth. They're just really just moving it back and forth right now. I don't even know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
All right. I'm getting that Bitcoin fear and greed. What do you think it's at?
Okay, yeah, let me
Yes.
guess. Okay, we were at 50 something yesterday, right? So
Yesterday was
I'm gonna-
52. Last week was
we were
27.
okay, so it was 52 yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say we're at 50, 54, 55. Let's see.
See if you were right.
65. Jeez, I don't like it.
I
Don't like it. How? I mean, we just like. Well, I mean, yesterday we finished. Yeah,
over the course of yesterday.
Yeah, we finished off the day strong.
So, and obviously too, this is the number from 00 UTC, which is 8 o'clock yesterday. So we get a new number at 00 UTC tonight, which is about 9 hours. So this could drop a little bit from this point, but as of 8 o'clock last night, I mean, things were very bullish.
It really depends on how we finish the day today, and I mean, I was thinking we were going one way, but it seems like we're going another. So we'll see. All
right. Let's kind of see where we're at. Let's get into the Bitcoin price action, if you don't mind showing.
All right, let's do it. Before we do that, though, guys, if you're on the YouTube side, please smash that like for us. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, and hit your notifications so you can see when we go live. On the Twitter side, please share this space for us, guys. We want to educate and onboard as many people as possible, so we appreciate all your help with that. Okay, let's jump right in here. So this is the hour chart, as I always start off with. Had a great build up yesterday. Wow, we hit 65 almost. We did hit 65. No, right under. So 64,900. Wow, that was amazing. But that was a big build up coming up from the 14th, was just 2 days ago. We were at 60,093. So that's being over. That's an overbought situation. So I expected something like this to happen, but it looks like we started our descent yesterday at 9 p.m. last night, and dropped all the way down to 62,313, and then started to form this uptrend here. So I was actually expecting for this red candle to continue down, have this bear flag here, but it looks like we actually skipped over that and said, no, we're going to continue back up. So I was actually calling for a bear flag here. Right here, it would have been perfect, right? It's still in play, a little bit extended here, but we would have to come down pretty quick. Another scenario here to finish out the day would be a double bottom, right? If we come back down here, forming that second bottom, and then blasting back up throughout the night and in the morning, right? So really depends on how we finish this candle. And you can see here on the MACD, this is the hour chart, like I said, so give us kind of a forecast for the second half of the day. On the MACD, it looks like we're finishing up the sell pressure, though. So that's what's making me think, okay, this could be a little bit more bullish than I expected, right? So if this ends up finishing up here and then we kind of get some aggressive buy pressure back up, we could cross over 65 today. That could be a possibility. But if this extends out, and this doesn't continue up here in the next, I would say, hour or two, and then we pull back down, that we could start to form that double bottom. But it would be bullish for tomorrow morning, tomorrow midday. So either way, I think we're in a pretty good spot. So that's what I'm thinking for the rest of today. For the 4 hour, it looks like we finally came down, which was actually good. It was good that this red candle brought us all the way back, almost down to oversold. Because if we hang out here just barely and then it pop back up, we end up back into this bullish momentum, right? Now, I imagine that we probably want to stay down at least a little bit, so it's not just like a bounce back up, because we don't that. To me, that would probably mean that we're not going to stay too long up here. We'll see how this plays out. But everything seems to be going according as planned, to finish July strong. We still got about 2 weeks out, right? So for the next 2 to 3 days, this could be a chop situation between 63.5, 65.5 around there, chop for the next couple days. Wouldn't be surprised to see that. And then for the 12-hour chart here, still looking pretty darn good. You can see the MACD on the 12-hour chart. So the next week and a half, this is why I think we're going to still finish out July strong. You can see the MACD showing strength here. Blue and red lines still pretty far apart. Seems like this buy pressure doesn't want to end. So, the next week and a half, I feel like we get close to possibly a new all-time high, at least knocking on that 70,000 door. That's just my speculation. That could be completely wrong.
Yeah, man. So are you ready to give your Friday? So right now you are 3 for 4. You were right 3 weeks, wrong 1. How are you feeling about giving your answer today?
For this Friday, yeah. I mean, I feel like I probably need one more day.
Okay. Give me one more day.
Tomorrow morning, yeah. Tomorrow morning, I'll give you what I think, which is going to be still be a little bit shot in the dark, but we'll see.
All right. So back to the banners here. It's roll call time. Let's see who's here, guys. If you are here and you're just watching, you haven't put a comment in, put a comment in. Let us know you're here. It's very important. Kind of see who's here. You haven't watched the show until you've been participated in roll call. So we have a little controversy here at the top. KDN wins today, but Mike's World was like, "Yo, I'm first." but shout out to KDN. Congratulations to you. You are number 1. You win today. I think it's your first time number 1, so congratulations to you. And thank you for being here at 11:17 p.m. You didn't get pushed over into the other side. There was a little bit on the other side. I don't think there was actually. I don't see nothing in the graveyard. All right. Like I said, Mike's World. Shout out to Mike's World too.
Yes.
We were live for a portfolio update, and Mike was like, "Yo, check these out," and he threw Agora at us and got us looking at it to the point where we were like bullish, and it was $1.30, and Agora just hit $8, right? A little bit over.
It's at $9.44 right now. So Mike's World. That's a huge call, Mike. Good job.
He saved our portfolio. I mean, no, just kidding. Shout out to Mike, man. Always killing it. And then our guy right here, Yasher, he says, "Hello, guys. Peace be upon all of you." Shout out to you, my friend. If you guys don't know, Yasher helps us out so much every single morning. He's one of our mods, and we have an Ordinal Revolution research and development page, and he's a big part of that. So thank him every single day. Jump to the next person here. We have Piccolo. He said, "What up, y'all? Always got to tap into the one." Yeah, shout out to you, my friend. I don't remember seeing you. Have you seen
he was? I think I remember seeing him first time for our last week's Tap Tuesday.
Gotcha. He's a big tap guy. Let's go. And then our guy from Australia, we got BitRens in the building. Shout out to you, my friend. And then our boy Danny. He's always here. Appreciate you, Danny. So Billy Cats to 0.1. I would be very happy with that, man. Very happy with that for sure.
It's gonna happen.
Ordinal tweets. He just dot and a bird. That's pretty cool. And then our guy, man, I walk alone. Shout out to you, my friends. The GM Ordinal Revolution fam. Hit the like, share the love, subscribe to the fun. Thank you. I walk alone. PJNZ, always here, man. I feel like I say your name every single day. Run Bitcoin, run. Lackey Lukey, again, every single day, Lackey. You are a G. And our guy, Super Fan. I was going to tease it a little bit, but Super Fan will be joining us later. Community guy, man. We love that. We support him in any way possible. So shout out to you, Super Fan. Jumping back here, we got Dream Baked. We got Babu Amir. Shout out to you. He said, "Mr. Yagobi, what up, buddy?" And then we have Mighty Sono in the building. Joko, my man. No. always here. Patty Poo, the Bitcoin machine, always here. My man Ebook is in the building. Shout out to you, Ebook. Chain Watchers here. Ethereum blockchain. Mr. Sheedy said, smash that like button. And then Wayne Taylor, welcome to the show, Wayne. I think I've seen you before. Pretty sure actually. But shout out to you. He said, yep. Our guy Tim Baker is here. Shout out to Tim. Carlos CLS is in the building. Cash Cats always bringing the coffee and the donuts. I feel like if we ever meet him, dude, he's gonna be like, got the donuts and whip out the coffee.
Yep, exactly. I would feel weird if he didn't have coffee and donuts when we meet him.
I know. I'm gonna be like, what are you doing? Kai affected. Shut up, Kai, man. Kai hit us with it was Kai yesterday, right? Hit us with that $5 at the end. Shout out to you, man. I didn't get a chance to thank you, but you are the man. D Love, and then we got JD is in the building. Shout out to JD. Starting to really like that those two letters together now. JD Vance and then JD Budabag. I love that. His name. Shout out to you. Superfans is loving the t-shirt, Yagobi. What is your t-shirt?
It's a Supreme t-shirt, but it's got like a Superman with an American flag.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate that, sir.
D loves his bricks will use cryptocurrency for its new payment system. Yeah, I think that's a CBDC. That's why we really didn't bring that up.
Yeah, someone said something about that being CBDC. Yeah,
I shared a comment here. So our generation was the test net for Gen Z. Whatever they tried on us, now they're implementing on the other Gen Z. I guess test net for Gen X, maybe. I think that's what you mean. But yeah. Then I got a guy. Superman is in the building. Cal-El. Shout out to you, my friend.
Let's go.
Tim Madden is here. Ant-Man is here. Yasher says BTC is 64,200. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Sheedy eats a Toshi. He says a bit late. No, man, you're early. You're still early. Early to us. Mita's here. Shout out to Mita. I think it's your first time here. Thank you so much for coming. Minda. Sixes is here. Chief Axel. Steamy J. It's been a while, Steamy
J.
I haven't said your name in a while, my friend.
Yeah, he's a big Billy Cats guy too.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to his fellow Billy Cat.
I think I said Chief Axel, but I'll say you again. And then Ethereum blockchain. Shout out to you, my friend. He said, I still never got my Ghosty tokens to transfer over. Does that? Yes, you did, buddy. You guys got to go to track.network, put in your address, and you'll see them there. I promise you, if you had them, you got airdropped. If you need a little help, just DM me.
I feel like you might be a little bit confused here because he says it's killing me. I just keep trying, but just can't get it done. So there's no claim. There's nothing like that. It's an automatic airdrop for the BRC20 tokens that you had, and you had to make sure it was before the cutoff date in time. Because if you bought after that, unfortunately, they can't force Unisat to take that token off. And so, if that happened to you, I'm sorry, that sucks. But if you bought them well in advance, like months and months ago, then you should definitely have the airdrop. And all you got to do is go to track.network, paste in that Taproot address or whatever address you have. You bought your Ghosty BRC20 tokens in, and it will show you how many Ghosty Tap tokens you have in that wallet address.
Yeah, man. All right, jumping to our first Ordinals news here. This is pretty big. We got a new stable coin, guys. A new stable coin. It is here. It's called the USDH. It is live. You can earn APY on runes. Earn up to 25% APY. The first Bitcoin-backed synthetic dollar. So this is pretty crazy. I can't say this name. Hermetica? I mean, come on, guys. Give us a better name.
Hermetica.
Hermetica. But
I will say that is a bit peculiar name, right? Like it's definitely weird.
It's the worst name I've ever encountered. It's top 5. It's pretty bad. They need to change this. I don't know. Medica maybe is a little bit. I don't know. It's terrible, but their product is phenomenal. I've been checking it out here. If you kind of go to their website here, you can earn over 25% on the yield, and you can access the app here. And I've already done it. And you can stake your USDH, which is the rune, to SUSDH. So you'll get a receipt for that staked rune. So they'll basically take your dollar and give you a staked asset, which is pretty cool because now we have we have staked assets here. Tradable liquid assets. It's pretty wild,
this is
man.
Huge. This is huge, humongous. I mean, think about it. Like this is total value that's going to be directly reflective on like what is it called? DeFi Llama, right? This is wild that you can stake, right? So it says 11.7% APY there. Why is that? Is it because if you the synthetic version? Because I think they said 25% APY, maybe just for the USDH or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, USDH is the stable coin. It should be higher, or I'm not really sure. That is
Well,
weird.
maybe you
Over
get
here.
25% off of
Oh,
USDH.
earn up to
Okay.
25%.
Yeah, but how
So
do you
maybe
get?
you're able to stake your SD
That's what
USDH
I
in the
was
future.
thinking. So it's like a double stake situation to where
What's the point in that?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure, right? Like, I guess not spending your synthetic stable token because you could spend that, right?
Yeah.
Technically.
That's our guy Yasher real quick. He says Hermetica, also known as emerald tablets, is a name given to an entirety of an extant fragments of some texts written in ancient Greek and Latin. Okay, so I guess it's rune, but you got to
no,
stake to earn the
runes. I think
APY.
runes is from like the Nordic region,
Gotcha.
but still, I mean, I think it's pretty cool that they are using like this. But you hate the name.
I hate to name it. It's
Yeah.
just hard to say. I mean, I'm a very simple person. I like 4 letters.
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing about this is that you can stake a rune on a
Yeah.
platform that's
Yeah.
available to everybody, and it's a stable token, so you're not going to worry about your value going down.
Yeah.
So, and one thing I will say that's the biggest differentiator between Hermetica and the Nakamoto dollar from the BAMP team is kind of the aesthetics and the utility already, right? You can stake this, but you can earn other rewards with the Nakamoto dollar. But I just feel like aesthetically, like Hermetica wins the battle with that. We'll see like how this plays out, how many other projects utilize this, because with the NUSD, there's already multiple projects that are integrating it. Agora is doing it with payouts for their predictions markets platform. VDEX is doing a wrapped version of NUSD on Merlin. There's other Bitcoin layer 2s that are utilizing it. Other native Bitcoin projects are utilizing it. So Hermetica really, yes, I think they have a great start with this staking mechanism, 25% APY. But let's see what other projects are bullish about it too and start utilizing it, which I expect to see.
Yeah, 100%. So there's a stake, and we do see when someone says, he says, Wonder Shorts says, how do you sell it? So you can buy it over here on Magic Eden, and then you can sell it here as well. So you do see some USDH right here now. So you could buy and you can sell. Oh, not showing my screen. You can go over to Magic Eden USDH. You can buy and you can sell here. So
can you go to the buy cool. So you can see what listings?
Okay, so there you go. Tower 1, so it's a little higher, but you can buy it with Bitcoin and then you can sell it the same way. So I wonder if it's the team listing them here. Probably, right? Because no one really has them yet. So
yeah. Well, I'm not sure. Maybe they. Yeah, I would imagine probably because like there's not like necessarily a yes, one you might be able to arbitrage a penny here, a penny there, but like there's not really like that instantaneous gratification, right? Instant gratification to be able to make a ton of money. So it's fine for the team to just start listing all these out, right? Now, he followed up with his question saying, for quick sell, how do you do it? I don't know. They're probably going to set up some sort of mechanism, just like the Bank of Nakamoto. You can switch out the NUSD for what is it USDE?
For that's banked, but this isn't backed by USDE. This is backed by Bitcoin.
I know. So my point is that like they set up that solution on Bank of Nakamoto to trade out your NUSD for USDE. And then so maybe on this side, they'll allow you to swap it for Bitcoin directly or something.
Yeah, like a centralized swap. Yeah.
Exactly. They're going to have some sort of solution because I agree with this Wonder Shorts over here. Like especially a stable token, you're not trying to sit on a stable token listing on Magic Eden. You know what I'm saying? That would be so annoying. But the 25% yield does make people want to buy these up though. So we'll see.
100%. I mean, 25% yield, if it's paid out in the Hermetica token, that might be a token that you want to have. I mean, I'm really big on a lot of the stablecoin issuers and the token that they provide. So I mean, this could be another one to add to that list. But you're seeing more and more stablecoins here. And remember last September how bad we wanted the stablecoin here, and now we already have two. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, stuff is starting to finally happen, right? And what is that an indicator of? In my opinion, the indicator is that these builders think that we're getting closer and closer to the bull market, the bull run, right? Because no one's going to put a stable token out last summer, even if they could. Like, right? Like, why? It just doesn't really make sense to have a stable token that isn't going to have a lot of hype for a year plus. So this is a bullish indicator. Very bullish indicator, in my opinion.
And a stable coin would work really well with like a permissionless swap like Fluid, right? Because I know they already have, you can come over here and then I know you can get the what is it, the NUSD, right? So you can potentially swap out really quickly. So using this form. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. So this makes swaps like the Fluid really big. And I feel like a lot of these infrastructure plays, they're like talking to each other behind the scenes, right? Because we know some things that we can release out, because partnerships and agreements and stuff. But what is going to be released very soon, I think today, even with our partner Fluid, make sure you're following them on Twitter so you can get that announcement, and we'll follow it up with tomorrow morning's show. But kind of aligns with stuff like this, right? So I would not be shocked if Hermetica's stable token and NUSD eventually become available on Fluid DEX.
100%. All right, moving on to the next one, and we could actually probably tell Raul to do that. Honestly, load this up.
Well, so, it has to make sense, and there can't be any just the risk has to make sense, right? So we'll see.
Yep. All right, jump into the next banner here. Billion Dollar Cat yesterday had an amazing day. Not just Billy Cat, but the Billion Dollar Cat itself. So the rune shot up, and what caused a spike with the Billy Cat. So if you're bullish on Billion Dollar Cat, you got to be bullish on Billy Cats. What do you think of the connection there is?
Well, I mean, the connection is obviously in the art, right?
Yeah.
A big community member of the Billy token launched the art, and it really hits well, in my opinion, right? Yeah. So I feel like that's where that correlation is, right? And for the most part, the rune space just did well in general. They're not everything, right? But Billy was one that stuck out because it was stuck at $30 million market cap for the longest time, and it jumped to like 43, I believe, was the high, sitting at 41 right now. Bigger than this, though, is the convention, in my opinion. The convention coming up and really just getting this kind of new culture going of the Bitcoin ecosystem, right? The Billy Cat eyes and all that stuff. So we'll see. I think Dog had a pretty good bounce back as well. But if you look at the winners right now, you had Agora coming in at number 2. I don't know what Kishu is, but it was up 900%. Yesterday.
I think it was something that was just bought by it was like one buy on it. It wasn't.
Yeah. And so Billy was number 5, up 35%, right? And then you go to the collections, and if you go to the collections and you see the sales volume, the Billy Cats has been number 1 for the past 2 days.
Yeah.
Right. So you got Billy Cats number 1 at 368 items sold. Bitmaps number 2, no shock there. Bitmaps, there's a ton of Bitmaps at 344. Right. So I think this momentum is really going to be a cultural thing. Do I think Billy Cat's collection, the art, can get to 0.1? That's going to be tough, but I think that there's the momentum and community is growing pretty strong. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see what happens with that, because as you know, there's multiple collections, and a couple of them are starting to gain momentum, but Billy Cat's is one of those top ones right now.
100%. So one question for you is, can the Billy Cats overtake the Frogs market cap? Does that happen?
Oh man, well, if they get to 0.1, yeah, obviously.
Well, 0.05. I mean, 0.055 right now. I get if that's to say everything goes nuts. That's to say Frogs get back to 0.08. Do you think the Billy Cats could ever a year from now, 2 years from now, get past the frogs?
Because of the iconic like art in the Bitcoin B, I think it could really catch and really kind of have this like viral energy. But more like, let's not think about it like that, just them versus the frogs. Let's think about it like this. Every time there's a mini bull spike in ordinals, there's 1 to 3 new collections that benefit from that new run up.
Yeah.
Because people come from outside our ecosystem and say, what can I get in that's cheap right now? And they kind of band together and say, okay, this is it. Billy Cats could be that, because they're at like, right now they're fluctuating between like $85 to like 110, right?
Yeah.
And that's still affordable. Will it happen? I don't know, but I do think that that trend continues, that the next ordinals run up, there will be 1 to 3 new collections that really just like hit hard, and they see a dramatic benefit from that in the floor price. I can't say or promise any like floor prices here, but you know, that's my perception on it.
Yeah, man. All right, gonna just kind of speed through this stuff real quick. There is something I want to hit on. So Foxy partnership with Bitmap Emporium, building the Emporium Tower. So Bitmap Emporium seems to really be pushing the Bitmap narrative, man. It's beautiful, because anything Bitmap has his name on, the Emporium seems to be there. Limitless seems to be there. How big of a partnership do you think this is with Foxy and Bitmap Emporium?
Yeah, I think that this is pretty big, right? But at the same time, it's like the Foxy Bitverse, right? And they have multiple partnerships in there, and so it's just for it's really for just branding and stuff like that. So I think it's really cool, because we have a little sign in the Foxy Bitverse as well, the Ordinal Revolution sign or advertisement, or image in there. And so I think it's going to be really cool once people are able to kind of just walk around in there and recognize brands in the space and stuff.
Yeah.
So
that'd be big for sure.
Yep.
All right. And then I saw a tweet here from SMB. I'm going to bring this up real quickly. So he goes, utility tokens will soon take over the bull run. Memes have had a good run and will carry on doing so, but once Bitcoin dominance drops, is the projects with true utility that will go parabolic. On Bitcoin, there are only a handful of utility projects: Tap, Track, Ghosty, Traverse, Foxy. So we heard of all these, but we haven't heard of Fight. So I did my due diligence a little bit. It turns out it's Fight fans. It is a listen to this: tokenizing boxers on Bitcoin. Fight token and platform coming soon, building on Tap and ICP. This was pretty interesting how SMB just kind of threw that out there like that. This is pretty big. I'm not sure how you tokenize a boxer, but it sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. So I almost wonder if it's going to be like the sports card industry, right? So let's say like this, the LeBron James, right? No, that's not, let's say LeBron James. Let's use like a rookie that's in the NBA right now, or not a rookie, a younger player. Let's just use Luka. Okay, so Luka Doncic, whenever he's having a great season, his card values skyrocket.
Yeah.
But if he gets injured, they kind of, stay the same or start to go down. If he's playing bad, they plummet. And so that could be something that transitions over here, right? If there's like a fighter that's on a roll, they're winning, they're doing well, the token price could go up. I'm just completely just going off my imagination with this and how this could work out. So it'll basically be based off of their performance. I actually like that. I like that. Like, you know what I mean? So the token value is based off of the performance of the boxer. Now, I don't know if that's how it works. And so audience, this is just me speculating. But do they go into detail on that page?
Not really. There's only been one tweet. It just says stay tuned, something huge is cooking. So this is all speculation. I mean, all you can do is speculate unless you are on the inside, and maybe we get some inside information, or at least get them on for a Tap Tuesday in the future. So I'm curious what this is. I would love that. I would love potential an ordinal. Let's just say, who's the biggest boxer right now? I really haven't following. I think it's the dude, Garcia, right? Ryan Garcia or something. He's like the most talked about.
I think he's done though. Cause like,
Yeah. Well,
yeah, but
domestic
they're, I
violence or
mean,
something. Yeah.
boxers. I would love if they did this for the UFC actually,
Yeah.
but it would be
UFC would be better.
volatile. It would be volatile because like you could literally like have the belt for 2 weeks and then you lose once and you just never get it back. So.
But imagine getting a card early or a token
or a fighter
early
early.
and then he ends up being champion in a year and a half. That could be monstrous, right? If you held it long enough.
Yeah, exactly.
So
It looks like Yashir kind of agrees with my speculations. Says maybe each boxer might have different tokens values, and their tokens value fluctuate based on their fight results. Wow, amazing idea. Yeah. So
yeah. What if they did cool. AI boxing matches every Friday night, and it was like all AI boxers, and like what I mean, like and every Friday night like an AI boxing fight, and you kind of have to watch and see. That'd be pretty cool, dude. I would like that.
You'd have to
because you couldn't do real boxers. You'd have to pay them.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you have to make sure it's not rigged for sure, right? But I don't know. I think it's fun to talk about for sure. But yeah, so we're gonna get into some Q&A real quick before we bring up the Tap Tuesday guys. We see two of them in the green room now. So that is awesome that they're already here. But let's knock out some questions and then jump into Tap Tuesday.
All right, let's do it. Okay, so Sixes says, any plans to get the Unitap team on for Tap Tuesdays? Yeah, we will try to get them on for one of these Tap Tuesdays. We do have the Tap Explorer wallet and Explorer on today, so they were the first wallet in the ecosystem, so it's going to be exciting. But yeah, we'll try to get them on for sure. DJ, you might have missed the Hermetica segment or banner that we just talked about.
Just scroll back.
Just scroll back a little bit. Watch the previous. I would say maybe like 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. We did talk about Hermetica. From everything that we know right now, they are a stable token. You're able to stake the USDH on their website for up to 25% yield. So that's exciting. But yeah, I would just watch that segment that we just went over. Let's see here.
Any new questions? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think that is it. So we can just hop right in
to the
so put your questions in for these tap builders, guys. So you can ask them whatever questions you'd like. We're going to start off with the Tap Wallet and Explorer. They are the first Tap wallet that's dedicated to the Tap ecosystem. They cover DMT and UNATs and stuff. I'll let him go into that description, but let's bring them up right now.
Yeah.
Hey,
what's up, man?
Welcome to Ordinal Revolution.
Hi, guys.
You're on mute. Oh, there you go.
Thank you.
You're good now.
Can you hear me well? Sorry, it's my first time on a podcast.
No worries. Yeah, we can hear you pretty good.
Great. All right, thank you. Sorry.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. And
thanks for
the invitation.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, and a lot of people are excited to hear from you guys. You guys were building in stealth for a long time, and you released your wallet, and I think you guys have a lot of possibly news that you're for stuff that you're going to release in the future. But if you could explain to the audience what Tap Wallet and Explorer is about, and what you guys like, how your product benefits the Tap ecosystem and the overall Bitcoin ecosystem.
So for a long time, we have seen that the Tap ecosystem, they needed a wallet. Everybody has been talking about a wallet for the Tap ecosystem for quite a while. But even experts couldn't do it because it's actually it was very, very complex to build. Not because of the Tap tokens themselves, but because of the DMTs and the UNATs, especially UNATs, because UNATs they are, as you know, they are rendered with JavaScript, and it's very complex to build something like that. And we could do that with a Tap wallet. we bypassing it because the Google Chrome store doesn't allow for JavaScript rendering on the wallet. So what we did was to render them on the websites and then export it directly to the wallet. So it's rendered on website and exported directly to the wallet in real time. That was the only way to do it, but I think it's still valid.
Yeah.
And an Explorer as well. We fought the TAP ecosystem with an Explorer. Until now, we had only the website from Track indexing all the TAP tokens and DMT tokens. But there you can only check the balances of each person, right? So you can check the available balance, the transferable balance, and that's it. And with the Explorer, you can check all the holders, who holds what, and yeah, you can check everything basically. And for the UNATs, you can check all the UNATs that are available, all the ones that have been deployed, all the largest holders of each UNAT, and you can see them in your wallet, and you can see them on Explorer, and you can have like a better picture. And also there was a need to, to select and send specifically each of the UNATs. And until now we could do it only on Magic Eden, but it's quite a mess, to go through all the inscriptions that you have in your wallet and find the UNATs that you want to choose or to send or to transfer. And with the TAP wallet, it's really quite easy. You just need to choose a ticker, write the ticker, write the block number, and that's it. Just tap it and send it. Done. Just like in Explorer, you can do the same.
Yeah, I mean the wallet's phenomenal. You guys are the only ones doing any type of showing the Nats right now, right? The other wallet doesn't do that, and it's really cool to see your Nat Cats or your Nat Frogs in my case. So it's that's awesome. But to me, the biggest thing about you guys is the Explorer, like you just said. The Explorer is phenomenal, right? So that's one thing I noticed right away. I can have my name on there structured with my wallet, kind of like
Exactly, yeah.
Ethereum, and I can type in Shizzy and see all my assets. or if Yagobi sets his up, I can type in Yagobi and then set his up, and it goes for everyone else. So that's just an easy way. I don't got to go find your wallet. I just type your name in, and and I can just go through the index of seeing who is there. So if I want to see Mr. Sheedy, I can go see Mr. Sheedy. That's one thing that I really loved. Was that like a lot of time spent doing that?
Yeah, it took not a long time, but it took about 1 week to implement this. And that's what it's part of our mission. We want to turn TAP and Bitcoin in general much more social. And that's something that was lacking in the past with Ethereum, You had DBank, where we were able to communicate between wallets, but nobody was using it, and it was quite a mess. It was not that social. And with Bitcoin, we want to transform this, and we want to make the TAP and Bitcoin ecosystem in general way more social than it has ever been in the past. So basically now you can go through the holders list and see who is holding what. For example, if you go to the TAP 0 on our index, you can check that most of the addresses that are there have been already replaced by names. So our supporters have already inscribed names. And you can see who are the biggest holders of TAP 0 and who they are, And the same for other UNAT collections, for TAP token holders and DMT token holders as well. It's all natural. And what I like the most is that the people that have been registering names, they have been registering the same names that they use on Twitter. So you can see, this guy here holds 2 tokens or 2 Natcats. This guy is the same guy as this guy that I know in Twitter. He's my friend. Hi. And as you know, we were also implementing a messenger system where people will be actually able just to connect and communicate between names on the ecosystem.
Wow.
So that will be quite interesting, especially with the marketplace. You can tell the guy, hi, how are you? I want to make an offer for your Netcat. We'll accept this value. And just to say hello to your friends, just a normal messenger system within Bitcoin between addresses. And I think that will be quite awesome, I think.
I love that, dude. I would love to be able to, like, there's certain traits that you want, but somebody that's not listed. But if you can find someone, let's just say like
Exactly.
Mr. Cheedy, I can go to his wallet. I'm like, oh wow, I really want his royal. Message him and see if I can pay a little bit over the floor for it or something like that. That's really cool and different. You can't do that anywhere else.
Yeah.
This, by the way, it's my walking agenda. This woman that is with me that you have seen is Kaki. She's always with me. She manages my agenda, all the things that I have to do, and yeah, she's always here to help. Fortunately, I'll be
Yeah.
nothing without her.
Yeah, it's always good to make sure that you have, a solid team around you and stuff. So that's awesome. One thing that I know that Shizzy actually experienced it, and some other people as well, is that when a UNAT gets transferred, let's say someone purchases it or lists or sells it or whatever, or it gets lost and has to be re-indexed when it gets transferred to another wallet. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly. We had to install a cron job for that. Initially, it was an error, as you know, and you complained yourselves in the beginning about it because you bought, I think it was a Royal, right, in the beginning, and it was not indexed in the tap wallet.
Yeah.
It was because of the cron job had to do it periodically.
Well,
now,
the thing is that we found out that wasn't a tap wallet and explorer issue. That is a UNAT in the tap reader issue right now.
No.
So
It was not a tap reader issue. It was a UNAT issue because we are the only ones that are currently indexing UNATs. Tap
exactly.
track is not indexing UNATs. Only DMT and tap tokens. UNATs are only indexed by us until now. So that was our issue. And the way to solve it to just to upgrade the servers and reduce the cron job times to a minimum as possible and to make it as efficient as possible. But now in the few seconds, once you buy an unit, it gets instantly updated in your wallet and you can see it.
That's what I'm saying is that, like, I think that you guys are like really underappreciated with your developer skills, because it's almost like you guys fix that issue yourself, right? And you're like, you know what, like it's the UNAT has an issue with indexing, so we're going to solve that issue. And it seems like that's what happened, right? So now whenever someone buys it, it shows up in the wallet quickly, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we try to do things and fix things as soon as possible. There were a couple more issues in the beginning when the Explorer and the wallets were released, and we fixed them in just a couple of hours, like 2-3 hours, because hopefully our team is very good with ordinals. We, as I told you before in the beginning when I met you, we have been building on ordinals since the very beginning. We implemented the other protocol that you know already, and hopefully we had a good experience with it, and it keeps us versatile in really this ecosystem. Yeah. And I want to talk about you this privilege authorization privilege authorization meeting that is on the TAP. As you know, big shout out to the MScribe team. They were the first to implement this on the DMT ecosystem, DMT tap ecosystem, and they were able to allow creators to limit the addresses that were minting each UNAT. They will implement the costs for each UNAT mint, and they were able to create whitelists and times for each whitelist that were minting. And that was amazing. And we have seen that, and we decided to apply it to the TAP ecosystem. So DMT and UNATs are for creators, for art developers, and the tap tokens are made for projects with utility. So what we want to do now is to engage everyone that want to launch their project on TAP, and we have all the infrastructure ready for it. And just DM us or just send us a message on Discord or Facebook, wherever, and we can work with them and implement their token and implement with the privilege authorization means, so they can charge for each mint, they can create whitelists, etc. And I think that's a big thing that TAP really needed, both on the creator side for arts and for the utility tokens as well. That's it.
I love it, yeah. Because you think about it, there's like for BRC20s, even for runes, you can't really have a whitelist right now. So for Tap
No,
to
it's
have that,
impossible.
yeah, for Tap to have that, that's big. So not only do they have it for DMT right now, I mean, I've experienced it using MScribe, but taking that same, that same method and using that for tokens, that's really awesome to the point where that could be in a very, something very attractive to builders to build on Tap. So that's awesome.
Yes, I also wanted to talk about the swaps that we have been talking already for a while. We have beginning to
Swaps.
yeah, we have
Interesting.
been talking about it for about 2 weeks, I think. And
Yeah.
we have beginning to work on it. We're just finishing up the marketplace. By the way, it's almost ready. All the infrastructure is ready. We're just testing, some transactions to see if everything goes smoothly. And soon we have a complete marketplace for TAP tokens, DMT tokens, and UNATs all in the same place with ultra fast servers and everything very, very smoothly, like you never seen before. You'll see.
Nice. So when you say swaps, because I
Yeah,
feel
swaps.
like that
Exactly.
term is used a lot in our space, but it's not it's not like how we are used to using those in other EVM and DeFi environments. So when you say swap, can you explain what that experience will be like?
Exactly. So the point is, thanks to the token alpha feature that Benny hopefully implemented on the TAP protocol, we are able to create virtual liquidity pools. And what I mean with this is, for example, Shizzy, you have 10,000 tokens of TAP tokens, and you want to create a liquidity pool for TAP, right? For example, against Bitcoin, let's say. And you go there, you set the amount, the lot of tokens, how many.
Oh, did we leave them? Right when it was
He
getting to the
froze
good
up on
part.
us. Let's give him a minute.
Yeah.
Come back here. That's what happens when you're live, guys. We can fix this stuff when we're recording, but when you're live, there's no fixing
I mean, so I know they were talking to us about swaps before, but I don't. Do you remember them talking about these liquidity pools using token auth?
I have not. I'm trying to see if he's still frozen there. He looks like he's still frozen, but yeah. No, I haven't. I mean, I remember him saying something that they're building a marketplace, but never really to the point of swaps. Like,
Yeah.
how would that work though? Do you think?
I mean, the way he was starting to explain that was that you would be able to create liquidity pools for like a TAP token and BTC. Yeah. And if that's possible, that's game changing, right?
Yeah.
Again, like I'm hesitant to, just take everything in as face value, or take everything in as completely what it is, because just in our space, we've seen a lot of people, talk about this. Yeah. But these guys do put their heads down a lot and build, right? So sure. I think that would be very, very interesting to say the least. And I wanted to ask him when his marketplace is going to be launching. So
these guys are fast, dude. Like if he said
they're very talented builders and developers. Marketing wise, they need a little help, but they're getting there. They realize that. Yeah. But I will say, man, like whenever your issue came up with the UNAT, yeah, like they fixed that pretty quick, and then now it renders like very quick when someone buys it. They solved the problem in the ecosystem that they're building for, that they didn't create that infrastructure, and they solved it by creating this fix, right? So I think that they could be like a really strong infrastructure builder in the TAP ecosystem. So people need to be paying attention to them, in my opinion, at least paying attention to it. I'm not saying go and get TAP 0 and all that stuff. I'm just saying pay attention to what they're releasing with their wallet and all that stuff.
I want to ask him about TAP 0 as well, what exactly that is and stuff like that. So maybe that's for another day. Hopefully he can get his connection right, but maybe we can get him back by the end of the show. But we got to keep it moving, right?
Yep, let's keep it moving. So the next guest that we have is the founder of was it Natbats, right? Natbats. So let's introduce LaFrog is his name. We'll bring him to the stage here. Hey, LaFrog, welcome to Ordinal Revolution.
Hey guys, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. I just want to precise, I'm not the founder of Natbat. Natbat is a collection under the Bitmap Emporium community
Gotcha.
project, and I'm just the author of Natbat and worked with Limitless on it.
Okay.
What? So can you just define that a little bit further? What is an author, and what is the differences? Just so the audience knows.
Oh, well, I specifically made the code and the engineering and the artwork for the collection, but like I'm not the founder of Bitmap Emporium. That's Limitless.
I got you. So Limitless, can you just tell the story of how maybe this kind came to what we have today, going from Limitless and Bitmap Emporium to the Natbats?
Yeah. I'm not sure actually. Could you try to rephrase that?
I
Yeah,
think he's
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
ask like how you came about. How did Natbats come about? Were you a part of the original idea of it, or were you kind of just brought on after the idea?
Yeah, no, I was brought on after that. The original
Okay.
Natbat idea was Limitless, yeah.
Gotcha. So, what can you tell the audience about yourself and Natbats?
Well, so it's a UNet, like some of those that came out recently. I just have some differences in there in the way it's done. Like the trait selection is seeded in the block height, but like not matching specific patterns in the block height. I'm using like a seeded randomness method to do that, so it's a bit different. And also I've implemented a way to index traits directly through the script, like probably Tap Wallet because you'd use something like that, and to index, the traits of that UNAT. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous.
No worries.
No
No
worries.
worries. You're doing well.
And yeah, as we were listening to like a few moments ago, the rendering with UNATs is a bit peculiar and tedious. And well, I've also implemented an alternative way in Natbat to render without having to like manipulate the DOM directly. You just like input the URL query parameter, like question mark block equals and your block number, and that will render the Natbat directly without having to do the DOM manipulation and try to inject the inscription ID within the script tag. It's a bit different, and I think it's a bit more straightforward. I was helped by Astral Architect to make that work, and yeah, that was a fun experiment.
Awesome. So, are you talking about the issue of rendering the UNAT in a wallet? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, well, I'm not specifically sure that this will apply to the wallet because I'm not privy to those kind of information, how the Chrome extension like handles JavaScript, as we just heard. Like don't know about this, but yeah, it's a different way to just, you can go to the inscription and type in the URL question mark block equals and your block, or question mark inscription ID equals and the mint inscription ID, and that will render the Natbat you minted. So this could be like an alternative way to render those, and that would work on any website. I'm not sure about wallets, but definitely on Tap Explorer that could do it, and this could like make it a bit more easier, I would say.
Yeah. And I feel like you're going to be a part of a lot of DMT projects in the future. You seem like a kind of an expert in this new and growing sector.
Well, I definitely fell into the rabbit hole. It's very fascinating.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've always thought it's fascinating. Shizzy took some time to come get on board, but he eventually got there. But okay, so let's go back to the beginning on how you do the block height randomness and stuff. Could you kind of talk about that a little bit more? Maybe try to break it down in layman's terms.
Yeah. So, well, basically, it's like a non-arbitrary randomness because we're using the block height and we feed that into the seeded random method that's been created and quite a while ago, and that's well known, and that's inscribed, that has been inscribed on chain like last year. And yeah, this basically spit out a number, and then I have like a select trait function that's like very akin to how traditional NFTs try to solve for traits, but I mean, that's like, it's not truly, it's not just random, it's random based on the block height. So yeah, that was my
So
non-arbitrary way of
like
doing it.
in an example, like for example, like Natcats, that they didn't do it like random block heights, they did it in order. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and for example,
Gotcha.
like Natcats, if you have a 4 in your block, I believe, that cat will have a cigarette. I think it's something like that, you know. So that's like
Gotcha.
a, you know, there's a one-to-one relation to numbers within the block height and traits that are expressed.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Okay.
Amen.
All right.
So,
So go ahead.
is there anything going forward with the Natbats? Obviously, you know, the big part of Bitmap Emporium, but is anything that's out there that potentially could come next with this project?
Well, that will be a Limitless talk, because you know, he's the head of strategizing and has his name says Limitless Sauce. You know, he's always cooking something. So yeah,
That is true.
Awesome.
He is. He's always cooking.
Yeah. I mean, they came from Neo Tokyo. Do you have any background with those with that team at all, or?
no, actually, I met Limitless quite hazardously on the Mscribe Discord. Well, actually, the Block Runners channel Discord. And yeah, that was kind of a random meet. That was pretty cool. I just posted some, you know, some work, artwork, and he liked those. And yeah, we kept on. We started talking, and you know, one thing led to another. That's it. Yeah,
Nice.
it's cool.
Nice. Okay. So, I mean, I appreciate you coming on here and you know, kind of showing the audience like the technicals of DMT and UNAT, because I feel like you're well versed in that. So I think my last question for you is someone that is really into the space and gone down the rabbit hole. What do you see for the future of DMT and UNAT? Like, what are the possibilities?
Oh, they're very, very large, I think.
Could you give us an example of an intriguing one that could make the audience excited?
Well, yeah, sure. You could like maybe think of an ordinals asset like a UNAT being a game asset, something that could bridge, you know, from on-chain to being an actual game asset that you can play with. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I have specific example in mind for this because I'm working on this, but I don't want to talk. I don't want to say too much about it.
Don't want to.
But yeah,
Don't
that
want to
would
give
be
the
like
recipe away.
but yeah, but that would be a game asset that you can use in game, and that's been created by the blockchain, like by using the transaction data, akin to what Bitmap does, sort of, you know, but doesn't make a bitmap. It will make a different game asset that's usable.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, you know, there's some teams already building. We've been in talks with the Natamon's team, and
Yeah.
we're very hype on them. We have a friend, Abdul. He's a part of that team now, so definitely looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah, and this could be the bridge between, you know, traditional gaming and Web3 gaming, in my opinion, because before this, I felt like there wasn't something that like got your synapses going, like clicking and stuff. But like this, if you actually take the time to understand it, it makes logical sense, and then it makes you go deeper and just get excited about it. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And it could also be like a licensing system for some other stuff, you know, like having a block out of passes in a way to do stuff. I mean, yeah, there's really a wide variety of applications that we can come up with this, and I'm fairly sure we're going to see a lot of wild thing in the future.
Awesome.
Amen.
All right. Well, LaFrog, appreciate you jumping up, and I definitely want to try to schedule something, maybe a pre-record with you once your project's ready. I think that you're probably a good source to go to for DMT UNAT stuff. So
That'll be my pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah, want to appreciate you jumping up here, and we will talk to you again.
Thanks. All right. See you guys.
See you. All right.
Jump back to Tap Wallet before.
Yeah, let's bring Tap Wallet back up real quick to finish out, and then we'll finish up with Superfan. Hey,
sorry guys, I had a connection issue here. Sometimes we have these blackouts. We are actually in the middle of almost nowhere, in the countryside of Portugal.
Yeah,
and
we had a lot of people saying, "Hey, where did that guy go? He's interesting. I want to Yeah, including myself. I was like, right, when we were getting to the good part.
Yeah,
So
this is the most interesting part actually.
yeah,
The swaps. So,
we left off about the swaps and the liquidity. You were explaining to us how you could use the privileged auth, or if you could continue that.
exactly. So thanks to Benny, he implemented this token off feature on tap, so people can actually transfer virtually any token, any tap token, without the need for transfer inscriptions, as you know it. So what the token swaps feature that we are implementing works is that people just virtually send, not send, authorize this amount of tokens on the liquidity pool, and the tap wallet checks if this balance is superior to the one that is needed for the maker to, sorry, for the taker to do the transaction, and then the transaction is completed. For example, you come in, you are the maker, you want to sell some amount of tokens, so you authorize with the token of future. It's like on Ethereum, you know, when you approve some tokens to be utilized for some transaction, is exactly the same way. So basically, you allow your wallet to spend up to a certain amount of tokens, and what the Tap wallet does, it separates in different lots, and you choose the amount of lots and the amount of percentage per lot. So basically, for example, let's say you authorize 1,000 tokens with 4 lots. That's 250 tokens per lot, right? And you set a percentage of 10%. So for every 250 tokens that are taken out of the liquidity of this swap, then the price moves up 10%. For the next lot of 250 tokens, then the price goes up again for 10%. And this 10% between lots is the initial swap with just one unique maker. That's you. But for example, if some of other makers come and add liquidity to the pool, then the spread is going to decrease, because the difference in these percentages and lots will be smaller, and will interpolate between each other. So it will be much more efficient. And for example, if you have at least 50 makers, you can actually work almost like in Ethereum, like MetaMask, for example. And I think that's brilliant. This feature that Ben implemented allows us to do this, and I think it will be a game changer for the TAP ecosystem.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
I mean, that sounds
they can implement also in other protocols. We're actually slowly developing for runes as well. We are creating a social environment for run tokens as well. For example, as you know, people are tending match for their favorite celebrities in runs, like for example Trump, Biden. You know, they are. It's like football clubs. You know, they are. You know, just voting, and in this case, minting for their favorite celebrities. So what we are doing, we are just separating, making lists of every run category. For example, celebrities from football, celebrities from politics, movies, etc., etc. And so in the future, we have like lists with market caps and everything, and you can check each run, compare each run, and create like a social environment for it as well. But as I told you, right now our main focus is to develop for TAP, complete everything for the TAP protocol, and get this going. And that's our main focus right now. And we have the marketplace launch very soon, expecting in the next days, maybe 3-4 days. The marketplace will be
What?
live.
Wow. Is that what the
3-4
swap?
days?
Yeah, I told you everything. Actually, everything is built already for about a week, and we are just completing some transactions testing, fixing some bugs. For example, in the beginning, you were noticing that there was some transactions that were stuck in when inscribing for privilege meeting on a test. And yeah, we're fixing this kind of things for the transactions not to get stuck, to increase the server rates if they are required, and make it the most smooth experience as possible for each of our rooms, because the first impression is actually very important, as you know.
Yeah. So hold on. So we're gonna have a tap marketplace in July from you guys.
Yes, in July
Wow.
for sure. And
Let's go.
yeah, you know that tap tokens already can be traded on Ordinals wallet, right? But it's very, very complex, very complicated, very slow with
Yes.
with
It
some
sucks.
bugs.
It's a
Shout out to
terrible
them because
experience.
they were the first to do it, and shout out of them today for that. They were the first to implement the marketplace for TP tokens, but we are trying to make it a lot smoother, and we a lot of additional features, and just dedicated to the TAP ecosystem for TAP tokens, for DMT tokens, and for UNAT as well. And I think that will be very interesting.
Yeah, sure.
So the swap that you explained, would I be able to swap immediately to sell like a token? Will there be living liquidity there for me, like to get Bitcoin back, or am I relying on like to buy it?
It's just like in Ethereum. Every token and every phase of the market has its own condition. Right now, it's just the start of the TP ecosystem on this field, so there won't be too much liquidity, of course. But I expect and I count on each one of you to contribute to it, to add the liquidity to the pools, especially for future TP tokens. Initially, we'll start the base tokens, the base swaps with OrdFi as planned and as we promised. So the base swaps will be based on OrdFi. Once the TAP token is released, all the base swaps will be the main ones will be the TAP token as a base swap. And we
Gotcha.
keep OrdFi as well, because it makes
gotcha.
sense, right, to have it as a base. BTC and TAP to be the main base for every swap. And,
Gotcha. But you're starting with OrdFi?
Yeah, OrdFi, because we don't have another other than
Okay,
Bitcoin, we don't have another base, and as we promised
Gotcha.
that to the communities as well, we start with that. So Bitcoin
So you
and
guys
OrdFi
heard
will
it.
be the base, yeah.
Yeah, you guys heard it from so OrdFi is going to be one of the base liquidity pairings with these TAP tokens, and then TAP token and BTC. So that's, I mean, so that's basically going to really prop up OrdFi as like a main blue chip in the TAP ecosystem.
Yeah,
and then these other ones.
initially, yes, it will increase the demand significantly in the beginning before the TAP release. But I think the system for the swaps will be ready in about 1.5 months probably. It's not. We have to finish we are finishing right now the marketplace. That's our main priority. Then we are implementing the names messenger system, and then we'll be working on the swaps. And meanwhile, we are already implementing these permissionless and decentralized system for anyone to deploy their tokens with privileged authorization minting independently. So anyone can just deploy, and we have a control panel for the deployers to manage the token costs, the minting costs, the whitelists, the token limits per mint, everything. So that's our main priorities right now, and then we'll move to the swaps and make it as
amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah, we definitely have to get you back on again for a full episode. I feel like we can talk for hours, but we do have super fan down below waiting. We appreciate
sorry
everything
about that, and thank you very much for the invitation. And sorry for the blackout.
No, it's not your fault.
No worries at all.
It happens a lot, but when it's live, it's uncontrollable, right? Got to keep it moving. But we appreciate you being here, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys, and see you soon another time.
All right, sounds good. Man. Thanks.
Thank you.
Dude, I'm so excited for this project. I didn't know they were gonna have a marketplace next week. It's pretty nuts.
Well, I knew the marketplace, but I thought
month?
he meant that. Well, I knew they were going to try to get it to market first. I mean, it's smart. Yeah. It's smart for them to do that, honestly. And so for them to get it to marketplace or market first, in my opinion, if I had infrastructure ready, I would do it.
Yeah.
And so the swaps is what I thought he was talking about too this week, and I was like, that's wild. But he's saying like a month and a half for that. You want to make sure that is correct whenever they release that. So
100%. I might have to go buy some OrdFi. That's very interesting. But let's continue this Tap Tuesday, guys. So far, so good. If you guys have any questions for us about anything, we can try to answer the best we can. Put your questions in the comments, and let's bring in the next guest.
Let's do it.
super fan, community
Yo.
member, legend. What's up, man?
Yo.
Revolution.
Guys, I kind of wanted you to keep Top Wallet on. I wanted to hear more.
We're definitely gonna do a full one with them. I think
Yeah.
I want to hear more as well. But I felt bad. I don't want to keep you down there too long waiting, but I definitely appreciate your patience.
Yeah, all good, all good. I wanna start with kind of this note. I went from daily listener to being on camera, so this is kind of like my rags to riches story right here. And I'm gonna do my best to not have a Kool-Aid smile the whole time. And you know, shouts to all the daily friends in the chat. I see all of you. I see you. You share. It's great to be on this side of things. So thanks.
Awesome.
I love
Yeah.
your background. You might actually have me and Yagobi beat. I think you might have the best background.
Yeah, man, you've been a community member, you know, for a while, and we actually we talk about on the show. We were in that competition as a judge, and we saw your potential, and that was amazing. Once we started seeing you in the chat, we are like, man, you know, we're excited about it. And like instantly, whenever we were judges with the block runner guys, and you were pitching your project, I was like, this is a DMT thing, man. So if you could kind of just explain to the audience, you know, what Bitcoin Heroes is about, your transition to where it is today, and what they have to look forward to in the future.
Yeah, totally. It's so I guess I could start by saying you know, the Ordinals collection started as a Web3 project with a lot of ambition, and that's kind of backburnered now because the generative AI part of this that I've built is one feature of this greater platform, but the timing is really good to focus on it, I think. And so so I made the decision to just, you know, hunker down, work on this one feature, and it kind of took on a life of its own. It started to feel like a superpower. It started to feel like it should be a tool for others to use, and that's how it was born. So the so Bitcoin Heroes as an ordinals collection is you could call it a beta test. You could call it a you know, a demo of technology. You could call it an OG kind of an OG phase collection. It's my way of really testing something that nobody's done before, and what it is, starting from zero, is I have my mind got rewired when I learned about recursion on ordinals. From day one on ordinals, it, you know, I wondered, oh, this looks pretty premium. I wonder what's going to happen with it. It's the new NFT, but what value does it bring? And as I started to go down that rabbit hole, I learned about Danny Yang's inscription of 3JS and processing P5, which are two graphics libraries on Bitcoin. And he's one of the founders of the On-Chain Monkey community, and I'm a part of that community. I learned a lot from them, so shouts to them. But the you know, recursion is something we don't bump into a lot. It's a feature of ordinals that I think is magic, and I'm surprised we don't see it more. So with this project, I plan to take that to a next level, and kind of a ridiculous level. Like I want to take it into space. And then the same thing happened again when I started to learn about UNAT, and DMT took me a minute. It was I had to wrap my head around that one. The patterns made sense and everything, but you know, it gets, the deeper end of that pool gets pretty deep. So it's like so it took me a while to swim over there, but but UNAT made sense to me right away. The idea of referencing, because it's basically recursion, right? You're referencing other data, you're referencing historic chain data. So I also want to take that to a next ridiculous kind of level, right? So what I'm doing with the collection is I'm doing all that, and I've got features that I don't think exist anywhere else because of DMT, UNAT, and recursion. And so I want to show all that off, and I want to get it allows me to pull some levers to gamify it, do some deeper lore, do some story here, and kind of treat treat what happens with the heroes as kind of like episodes of a Netflix show or something. I'm doing some two-way communication, and the story unfolds, the characters are created all based on referential data, and something really fun for me, and I'll stop rambling on it, is that there's it's not just historic Bitcoin blockchain data. It's not just scraping live mempool info. It's also some off-chain data that might inform the story, that really makes it feel more like a game, where I could reference all kinds of stuff like real-time weather and the Farmer's Almanac. I don't know.
Yeah. So real quick,
yeah,
like an example of that just came to my head is like, if the setting is like Miami, Florida, for that day of that episode or whatever content, then you can reference the weather for that day. Is that what you're talking about for Miami?
Yeah. It's I'm gonna date myself here. It's so there used to be a tool back in the Web 2 era made by Yahoo called Yahoo Pipes, and it felt a lot like what we're doing here. It was a way to take things like RSS feeds or web scrape or different data sources, and in this visual interface, kind of pipe them into each other and do data correlations and see the output and see how you came to it. And so with each episode, I'm going to show what those UNAT and DMT and off-chain correlations are and how they led to the story being what it is.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And by the way, I'm here to do some demo today. Devs usually cringe at the idea of doing live demo, so I'm playing with fire. But yeah, I put something together that I could, and I know I'm conscious of time, so I could kind of run through it really quickly. But I think the high fidelity of this stuff and the high resolution is what people usually think is just like marketing material made in Midjourney. They don't realize it's the actual artwork. So I want to kind of prove it, show and prove,
Yeah,
man.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
This
Should
is
we
perfect.
jump into that?
You're kind of the last guest, so I mean that's perfect. We can go as long as you need. So don't really worry about rushing too much. Just definitely showcase the project the way you want it to be for the audience or whatever. But yeah.
All right, right on. I kind of like rushing when I'm like, I don't do a lot of podcasts, so I get a little nervous and I'm just like,
Just pretend it's us in a room, man. It's
relaxed.
Yeah,
right on. So I'm gonna share whole screen.
All right.
Share and entire screen. I'm new here. It's
you're used to it.
Oh, I got it. There we go. Okay.
All right. There we go.
All right. So, there's a little roadmap action here. So maybe I'm just gonna first start with the website I've been putting together. Need some polish, but it's got all the lore. So I wrote, this kind of pressed the button for me. My inner sci-fi writer got busy, and I created a bunch of lore. There's a lot here. I invite anybody who's interested in this part of it to check it out. There's little bits that you could just listen to that make it easy to get caught up. But it starts with Satoshi Nakamoto years ago hitting enter on that keyboard and giving birth to the chain. So that's where it starts. But
it's a great place to start.
Yeah. So I'll just pick some of these title images along the top to show what the fidelity looks like. This is the actual output. This is what ends up in your wallet and on marketplaces. There's a lot possible here, and we could talk about what the guide rails are, that gets us to these images. But and now I'll just jump into what it looks like. So this started. What we're looking at is functionally the Heroes project, right? In different pieces, and it's modular. But what this is going to be is a creator tool. Other people can use this. They can use it in different ways. They could do PFP type collections. They could do these story-driven kind of narrative collections. Sky's the limit. There's a lot of controls, and this one today, I plucked out. I was up last night, kind of plucking out a lot of the automation that is UNAT and DMT, so that I could play with it in front of you guys. So this is a little different than the actual project I'm launching with. But here you could see I've got some of the nodes I built, which is like here's Bitcoin and USD. When I clicked Q earlier, mempool height. Here's I'm actually getting a lot of my data from Ordhook, which is a stacks tool on Heroes, which unrelated, no relation there. But there's a tool called Hero, and that's where I'm getting a lot of my info. Worth mentioning, I guess, I did a call with Benny yesterday, which was amazing, and I'll be moving a lot of my indexing over to the Tap Reader, and we talked about the track infra managing a lot of this stuff. So
wow,
yeah.
Huge,
So
they're good at being able to bring a lot of good infrastructure in-house.
Yep.
I feel like, like they did that with the DMT stuff, and now this seems to be a whole new kind of like generative part of the protocol. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. But so since I got one foot in the generative AI space, we also talked a bit about Pipe and that future being an AI tool. So it's still vague, it's still early days, but it's really good to brainstorm. I mean, we were both like kids in a candy store starting sentences with like, wouldn't it be cool if, and I think that's a great sign.
That's awesome,
For
man.
sure.
That's a side of Benny that we really haven't seen. We see the developer part of him, but the what if, man, I would love to be a fly on that room for sure, man.
Yeah. It's I think the future is just really bright, and he's a gravity well for some smart ass people doing really cool ass things, right? So he's so I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be surrounded by everybody in this ecosystem. So and natural for me to be on Tap Tuesdays with you guys right now too. So all right, so since I'm screen sharing, let me get into what's actually going on here. So this is an interface called Comfy UI. I didn't create this. This node-based interface is from Stability, the makers of Stable Diffusion. And Stable Diffusion is the AI tool I'm using on the back end. I made my own container, which wraps this up. So I hit Q, and right now we're creating a character here, right, with a flaming fist, and it's my computer's slow, so when this is actually running online, this all happens within a second. And the kind of levers that get pulled here is what I'm showing is sorry, this is like extra slow at the moment, maybe because I'm streaming, but basically we end up with characters. We end up with character data that you might find in a traditional like trading card game or something like a Pokemon, right? Where your characters that are in your wallet have traits and have attack and have defense and have healing. So they matter. The characters you hold matter to how you do in the game, and there's rewards in the game, but it also matters to how the whole story unfolds. If we've got a lot of people contributing, not just hanging back, but actually playing along, that have a lot of attack and less defense, we're going to see more ruckus. We're going to see more battles. We're going to see big cities become craters, right? Maybe. So, and then here in the middle, man, this is going really slow. I should actually bypass some of this stuff. You see, we're going to see this dude turn into a zombie. And what that speaks to is the ability to have kind of anomalies in story, where maybe you wake up one day and all your characters in your wallet are in zombie mode. And I think you guys have heard me mention this before. It's like what happened to my collection, what happened to my art. It's well, you've got to do some activity to cure them, or something happens. There's consequences. So here we go. And that took forever. I don't know why. That should have been much quicker. But right now, so we see this brawly dude here. That's your default state of your character. Here's the undead version that might fit with a story. And these things can be added over time. They don't need to be there at day one. So it could be interesting to see how the story unfolds. And what took long was the upscaling. So this is like the high quality version. This is 2048 by 2048. really high quality as it sits in your wallet. And of course, you know, we would never inscribe an image that big. We would never inscribe something like that.
I was going to ask about the price, because obviously that would cost too much. So I imagine that you guys are doing like an inscription of these characters through something, and then everybody, whenever you put them in their wallets, they're using recursion, or how's that work?
Yeah, so the inscription, the text inscription, is a text inscription is super efficient, right? It's just text. You could keep it short, and I'm using that almost as a enciphered way. It's called dictionary encryption. I'm using shorthand of that text inscription to basically do everything, to control everything that you see on screen here. So there's a lot of parsing happening. Things like extremely bright eyes, glowing eyes, wearing an eye mask, holding a flaming sword. I've got people, you know, different faces, different looks from around the world in here. And here's some more description. Perfect eyes, perfect face. So these kind of things are actually what gets inscribed, but in code. So if you remember from when you were a kid and you maybe had like a decoder, one of those decoder things where like A equals 1, B equals 2, right? And make secret messages. I'm doing that with the text inscription to basically drive what you're seeing on screen. So
that's what OCM did with the 3D art, right?
Yeah. So, well, in a way, they minify it. They're compressing it. And I'm actually like casting it as full-on parameters and big commands from small bits of text inscription. And something that's real fun for me, it's kind of geeky, is it's a bit of a Schrodinger's cat thing, because your own inscription ID that contains your art is being referenced to make your art. So the inscription ID that contains it is the seed to create this character, for example. And that's just trippy. So I like it. And then let me jump over to, okay, so one of the things I'm doing is, here, I'll hit Q while I'm talking. So since there's game state, right, and I'm keeping track of what happens with people's characters and reacting to it in the system, I also want to be able to airdrop new characters over time, and you know, it's going to really change the game mechanics. So this is just it must be because I'm streaming. This is like way slower than normal.
Yeah,
but,
my computer's the same when I'm streaming, so it's not you. It's
the
service.
So like, again, this is a different module. This plugs in to the other project that we were looking at. And the job of this workflow is just to do these kind of augmented humans. And, you know, to go along with the storyline, it's like, maybe we're losing the battle against invaders, and here's and we need to get some more soldiers ramped up quick. So we're throwing some of our own on the lab table and giving them some abilities. So that's what you see happening right here. And this plugs into the existing stuff in a really easy way. It's built to be modular so that you know, we could get creative with it. If there's community behind the project, that they could get creative with it, that kind of thing, right? So, and then I'm going to jump over here just to show it's not just the look of what I'm creating. You know, we could throw plenty of open source AI models at this and end up with really different looks. And this is an example. If you notice, they're all in the same pose, right? And it's because I took one of my prior generations. I took her and her stance and extracted the pose from it. So now you could give me any artwork. I could drop it in here. I end up getting the pose. I could get the depth out of it. I could get color balance. I could get all kinds of stuff out of it, just because AI is that cool, right? And then base a whole collection on it. So now we start getting into traditional PFP type projects where poses are the same, but traits change, right? And this still looks pretty detailed and stuff, but this could be as simple as change the hat, change the jacket color, you know, that kind of thing, what we're used to seeing on ETH. And so this is all basically going into a tool. And and for creators out there, there's a lot of tools out there that I didn't build this either, but this is compatible with what I'm building. So you can go here to this website and set up your collections this way. This is another one. So it's fun because it's there's a lot of mature tools for 3D art already, but you don't need to have gone to school to learn this stuff because it's just gotten easier, and I'm supporting it. And by the way, here's the kind of metadata that I'm using in the project.
Gotcha. So that's inscribed.
Yeah.
Or that will be inscribed. So that's an example of something that would be inscribed.
Yeah. Maybe I'll stop.
Awesome.
I'll stop sharing now.
that was awesome. First of all, the fact that you have your model connected like a web, and you could see like how is pulling data from one section to the next to the next, loading up and stuff. So obviously for like an everyday ordinal creator, you're going to try to make that a simple platform for them, right? Is that what the idea is?
Yep. Yeah. And the idea is for this to be super frictionless, even for wallets and marketplaces, because I need that side too, right? For this to gain popularity, and get some legs. So what the endpoint so everything you saw there basically resolves to a Python script. All those nodes, they're interactive. I get to tweak things to my heart's content. But what it outputs when I save the project is pure Python. And that's what's running on the back end. And then that is that resolves to just a JPEG or PNG. So when you hit the endpoint with the parameters, what's returned is not something highly technical. It's something that just can live in an HTML page. So a lot of wallets and marketplaces, they have a sandboxed area where they show ordinals, where they show artwork, and it's essentially HTML at the end of the day. So this is ready to drop into a lot of projects, and if I find difficulty as I get to know different wallets out there, for example, it shouldn't be too hard to make it work.
Yeah. So you're not really building potentially a project. You're kind of building. I mean, obviously you're building your own project, but you could actually take other people's ideas and basically use what you're doing and create an ecosystem of a whole bunch of other projects, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the cool thing is, it's like I get to focus on like quality assurance tools. So if you want to do an art collection, if you want to do an Ordinal Revolution collection, and you don't know how to jump into a lot of this stuff, I feel like my job here is to keep making that easy, keep making that more user friendly. My background is in user experience, so that's where I get to focus. And even things like bringing in LLMs that can ask itself, are these hands correct? Does it have the right number of fingers? Is there anything deformed about this image, and can correct on the fly? So like I'm having a blast figuring all that out, because it's kind of day one in that space, right?
I love this, dude. This is awesome. Are you using any type of parent-child as well, or just
Yeah. That's where the two-way conversation happens. And
gotcha.
And I didn't know if I should use reinscription, because that's like kind of cleaner from my point of view. It's like when you reinscribe an existing ordinal, it's just tacked on. So so if you're participating in the storyline, it would be like it would be really clean to look at. But I asked on the tap Discord, like what's the right way to do this, and Benny actually jumped up and said, no, use child inscriptions, because then there's provenance for the decisions. And I don't know how I'd make use of that later, but you get to own your decisions in a really direct way.
Dope.
So that's insane.
I feel like
that's
cool. Once this product is like, because I feel like this is a never-ending project, right? Because like it's like going to continue on, evolve, but you'll get to a point to where it's kind of like automated, and you just do smaller updates and then like a larger one every once in a while or whatever. But man, this could be something really, really big, and I love that there is traditional like computer programming that is in our space. You know what I mean? Because like a lot of programmers, when I would try to talk them into like getting into crypto, like in 2021, 2020, they're like, that's Solidity's crap. They didn't want to work with Solidity because it's all about a computer programming language that only has to do with like a monetary gain in their mind, right? But this over here, we're talking about traditional computer languages utilizing, you said Python, people are utilizing JS libraries.
Yep.
Wild.
HTML even is important. So, but what you said is important because so I have a background in marketing, like you do, Yagobi. It's been doing guerrilla marketing and experiential marketing for a lot of years. So so I've got lowly friends in high places, and I talked about some of this stuff to like PR at Konami, friends at Netflix, a homie who's at Time Magazine, but their media arm, right? They're involved in a lot of streaming stuff that I had no idea, but they do that, and they didn't really get, and they're not into crypto at all. They're not into meme coins. They're not into invest. So what they had trouble when I was talking about UNET, right? They really had trouble with DMT. But when I showed them the levers I could pull on this artwork, that's when the light bulb clicked for them each. And they all said the same thing. They were like, whoa, this is the future of storytelling. I could see whole TV shows being generative, not just in the art, but in the way the story's told. And that got me really excited because I wasn't looking at it from that angle,
Yeah. Well, that was my biggest problem with DMT was like, all right, this is cool, but like, is it going to bring how much market share is this going to take of ordinals, right? That was my biggest problem with it. It wasn't, I understood like this is that, like this data is this picture. That's easy to wrap your head around. But how much market share would this really take? But then you really start thinking about like what you're building and Natamons and stuff. No one cares what's in the back end, right? They just want to play
exactly.
And that's when it clicked for me. It was like it's never going to be about what the block runners are explaining. It's about what the user clicks with their mouse or their keyboard, and that's what changed my opinion on UNETs, stuff like that. Stuff that's coming later.
Yeah, I'm with you 1,000%. And it's like I like innovation. I like seeing things get pushed forward, but for the normies out there, especially, to see numbers grow in the space and around this, it's got to be fun. It's got to look good. It's got to not look like a script as a text inscription in a wallet, also, and yeah. So there's a lot I'm planning now. This thing is kind of growing on its own, right, in terms of ideas, and I'm trying to keep the feasibility, in front of me where it doesn't get out of control. But I have a lot of plans for how to make that context happen, where it is accessible, it is easy to mess with, and it's easy to understand.
Yeah, I truly feel like I said it already, but I feel like you're building the first project on this network that you're building, and I think that's phenomenal. And having all types of people coming in, kind of using what you're already building to generate their next collection or next game, or adding to that, and kind of just building off of what you're building in a sense. That's when it truly becomes game changing. You could be on the ground floor of something really special.
I feel it in my gut. Like I feel like that's exactly what's going on here. And it feels good. And there's a lot of communities I love out there. I'm a fan of like Bitmap, for example. So it was really natural for me to kind of think about how do I contribute there with this. And it turns out it's not a stretch. So LaFrog mentioned a dude named Astral Architect earlier when he was talking. That's the same guy who's helping me to use this tool to make skins and 3JS walls basically on bitmap parcels. So it's going to make bitmap skinnable. Basically, want Counter-Strike on bitmap? Go for it.
Exactly. And one thing I want to say too about the whole DMT UNAT thing, and the reason why it hasn't exploded yet, but it's grown at a healthy rate, but it's because exactly what you said, Shizzy. Like whenever like let's say the internet first became a big deal, like normies, they didn't want to hear about it at all. They were like, what is electronic mail? What is, like, I don't care. I'm just going to send a letter through the, whatever. So, but what happens is eventually when the product is delivered and they realize it's easy to use, type of product, that's whenever they're excited about the innovation, because they don't give a crap about the complicated back end stuff. This excites nerds like me because like I love it, but it's not going to excite the everyday person that came over from shit coining on Ethereum.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They're gonna just be like, what? This too much. But what they will do is they'll end up using playing a game that comes out of this, or watching a show that comes out of this, and it's like, holy crap, this is what he was talking about. You know what I mean? So I think that we're just in that such early phase that you know, it might be 6 months, it might be a year out, but when there's products out there that is usable and they don't have to think about all this like hard stuff to understand, that's when it'll become popular. It's just like the iPhone. You know, people love the iPhone because it's simple, but you know, there's some tech behind it that's really cool. But when you pull up an Android and explain, oh, you can do these things with Android, they're like, I don't care. I just want a text message. So.
Yeah. To your point, Yagobi, it's like the value proposition is nothing without it being frictionless. It's got to be easy.
100%.
They've got to be able to see what value it brings for them to jump in. And I think that's been it. I mean, I say a huge problem. It's a huge problem for Web 2 people. It's not a problem in the space. But if we want to see liquidity come in from outside, you know, that's got to get solved. And I have a lot of ideas. Sorry, it's so loud outside right here.
Good.
But yeah, so I have a lot of ideas around that, and I've got a roadmap around that. And like I said, this started as a really ambitious Web3 project. So I'm still kind of plucking features that I started working on already to bring it here. So I guess the last thing that I can say that fits with everything we've been talking about is I'm a solo developer. I'm like hood up at night, music cranked, like I'm that cliche, right? And it feels good because it gets me to a certain distance. But it's good to zoom out and look at like where the impacts can really be. The Ordinals collection is going to help me gain a lot of information. Anybody who buys in this early basically is helping me data gather and beta test this thing. But I think the impacts can be really big moving forward for the space, or at least I want to provide that. That's what I'm here for.
So awesome. You're the cyber super coder that Elizabeth Warren keeps talking about, right?
yeah, I have her on speed dial.
This has been absolutely amazing, man. Use the Tap Tuesday, man, to keep us updated. Whenever you have an update or whatever, you use that Tuesday. Just let us know. We'll add you to the back end, just like we did now. We can kind of take a deep dive because this is really interesting in me, and I love this.
Right on. Thank you. And always giving you guys your flowers. You do a ton for all of us out here. So yeah, thank you.
Yep. Appreciate it, super fan. We will talk to you soon, sir.
Yep. Peace.
See you, buddy.
All right. See you.
Absolutely amazing. Great job by him, man, for being someone who's first time on a podcast. You know, that's one thing people have to understand is like a lot of people we bring on the show, it's their first time ever on the podcast. I think we had 3 people today, but we kind of broke their podcast cherry. And that's why, you know, in that way. And it's pretty amazing in the space. You can just tell that we are in an area that no one's really talking about yet. And we are super early. So if you're watching this, you have an opportunity like no other right now to take as much knowledge as you possibly can, learn from it, build. Like that's one thing too people need to do is like build something, right? Like don't just be here to invest, be here to build. Like if you can just take something what these guys are building and reach out to them and say, hey, I want to help you with this, or hey, what do you think about this? These guys are very open to that. So don't just be here to be here. Obviously, you know, you're probably going to be rich because you're early enough, but it is intriguing to try and build something. You know, it's really cool.
Yeah, because I mean, all the resources are here, right? And if you're paying attention and watching our show, and you're a part of the roll call and the community, that's how you get connected. Superfan has been in our roll call, you know, for the past couple months. He's been watching us for a while. You got people like Ichitoshi as well that has a project building. You got other people in our chat that's working on something. You got even like Mr. Sheedy and I Walk Alone getting very like involved with communities and testing, and Yashir's a big tester with all our things. Those are the people that like are learning about the 1000x this bull run. you know what I mean? Or the 100x or whatever, you know, that has like a strong utility. And the more that we move to the future, the more that, you know, this is going to be a space that creates big companies and big institutions that were birthed out of this space. So yeah, just you know, just keep coming every day or as much as you can to learn is my biggest thing. I've learned so much just, you know, having to be in the space every day, which I don't force myself because I love it, but you know, it's so effective. Wouldn't you think, like a year ago, how much we've learned from a year ago to today?
I mean, just go watch an episode of July 2023.
Exactly.
I didn't even know how the mempool worked back then, right? I didn't learn really the mempool until I started messing with BRC20s, right? So, and that's the thing, you know, just all you got to do is try. And there's been really smart people. I can name like at least 20 right now who came on our show and I've learned something from, right? So in the beginning, it was just learning about and talking about something I'm passionate about. And, you know, I wasn't expecting to come to Ordinals or, you know, build on Bitcoin, right? Or, you know, or talk to people that are building on Bitcoin, but that's where it took us now. And we are very grateful for that opportunity. I mean, how great is it to sit here and talk to people like Tap Wallet, to like Superfan, like, you know, like the Natbats guys. These are some really intelligent people, changing everything, changing the world, man. In a sense of gaming. I mean, you can think of that like, you know, change the world, you know, fixing world hunger and stuff, but people got to be entertained at the end of the day, right? So at the end of the day, when all the AI take all the jobs, everyone's going to need entertainment, and these guys are bringing that. So
yeah, agreed.
We hit on partners.
Yes. So guys, thank you guys for hanging out with us for 2 hours today. We appreciate you guys. It was a slow day in general, like if you looked at the other spaces as well, but the ones that show up every day, we remember you guys. 252 people in here. Please check out our partners if you got a chance. Ordinal Hive is live. Shizzy has been messing with their beta site, and he says it's lightning fast. So the blur of Bitcoin, go earn your points on Ordinal Hive, which is live on Merlin chain. Fluid Tokens has been announcing some stuff today, I believe, but they have a live DEX on their platform that you can trade your runes. Go do that, earn the points. I think there's still a big opportunity to earn a free airdrop Fluid Tokens pass, and that should be able to get you airdrops in the future. No promises, but you know, that's what that's for, in my opinion. Then you have VDEX as well, that's going to be launching on Merlin chain, and then Traverse Labs, the #1 security solution for Bitcoin layer 1 assets. Yeah,
man. And don't forget, this Wednesday we have Traverse on, and or it's going to be Security Wednesday, and then Friday will be Fluid Fridays. So definitely tune in to both of those. But guys, if you guys can please go check out ordinalrevolution.com. Every time you go to the site, it helps us. Just kind of go here a couple times a day. That would be absolutely amazing. But if you're going to Bitcoin Nashville, we will both be there. It's going to be great. It's going to be exciting, but don't pay full price for tickets. Get the 21% off coupon. You can get it right here if you use Bitcoin, of course. And then, you know, if you're also going, check out our store. We have some of the best merch out there. So check it out here. You know, we have the Billy Cats that were running hard yesterday, and all this amazing stuff. We have so much here. Goose Noodles, get your Goose shirts and all that. So be rocking some Ordinals gear. If it's not from us, make sure it's from somewhere else. But just let's show the Maxies guys that we're here to stay. On top of, you know, if you know anyone new in the space, please send them our website as well. I feel like, you know, we created this to kind of teach as many people as possible. That's kind of what our show's all about. Or we're all about educating, you know, and trying to get everyone caught up on top of educating ourselves too. So a lot of this stuff times, you know, we're going through something, we're like, oh yeah, I didn't know that. Let's make an article on that. So that's what that site's for. We appreciate you guys. We're live Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and I think it's 4 p.m. UTC. So check us out all week, guys. We really appreciate every single time you guys watch, man. It means a lot to us, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Peace.
We OG, oh no, G. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to Olo, yeah. Experts on reload, yeah. You're not bullish enough. Oh no, you not bullish enough. You ain't got the or no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to upload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock. Ayy. Runes is coming. Everybody on a knot. Ayy. It's a nuisance. Ordinal Revolution. Ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro. Got friends right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, like it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nookie on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me.